Good afternoon. I'm Brandon Haywood from the Special Education Department at Van Wert Elementary. Currently, I'm serving as a liaison between the Early Childhood and Special Education Directors on Mayor Keller's task force here in Grand City. One of the most important aspects of my position on the task force is my engagement with both parties relevant to my personal work in education. Early childhood and the issues being looked at here in Grand City may include children as young as 2 years old, but my special education background in elementary age children allows me to take data and propose change in students who range from 4 years old to 10 or 11. As a proponent for change, I first want to mention the vast community it takes to bring about change in the world of education. There are people on this task force who are present in all parts of the city. A prominent member in the community workforce, a social worker, and a superintendent of schools, just to name a few. What is the most important part for people to understand is that when a community works together, it is more manageable for change to take place. Not easier, but more manageable. The children in our schools and in the early childhood daycare centers will not be minors forever, and the impact they have lasts beyond the classroom in their K through 12 years. By having members on the task force who are not classroom teachers or members of the school building, staff increases the chance for there to be lasting change. With a growing population in Grand City, including citizens from other countries, it is especially imperative that the reform being at the early childhood age and last through adulthood. But let's start with early childhood. By collecting data when children are at a young age and continuing that data collection, growth is able to be visualized and planned for the individual for the specific groupings where they are not being compared to others but compared to themselves per se. Which means that we as educators can see where deficiencies and strengths are in the education journey and be able to take measured strides that are taken by the student in weak areas that still need to be addressed. One of my favorite parts of the task force is the assembly of professionals who are making sure the entire student is served, not just academic progress. Maslow's hierarchy of needs claim that a child cannot learn if their basic need for shelter and food are not being met. This task force is working together to create lasting change where a child can be monitored and assisted by a social worker if need be, and then a daycare worker as they age into the system with child care before school. Data collection should be viewed by educators as a way to help the children, not just another check to mark off a teacher's checklist that a teacher must complete. Data may look different from different professionals, but it all tends to work together. ESL teachers would use data to monitor progress of their immigrant students, and the general education teachers would also use data to monitor the students, whether they're general ed or ESL, to implement innovations or acceleration concepts and projects as needed. Social workers and members of the City Council and Department of Human Resources use data to monitor living situations and needs of families. Since the children in the classroom come from families who live in Grand City, this data goes hand in hand in meeting the needs of the students we have the privilege of coming in contact with each day. To enact lasting change, there is also a need for multiple institutions to come together. And that is what the mayor has attempted to start by creating this task force. Once the different walks of life and different stages of education are on the same page about what the individual needs are in our area, then we can work together to ensure change that is not just a day-to-day roller coaster of different tactics in the classroom, but a routine that can be put in place in our city as a whole so generations to come will be able to benefit from research and data usage we are handling today. Why be a teacher? Why be a teacher? I think it is important for us in education to take this calling. I don't think it's a job. I don't think it's a career. I don't think it's a profession. I solely and truly believe it's a calling because not everybody can do this job. Not everybody can come to school and talk to a student face to face and know that the only reason that they are there is to feel secure and protected. To try to mold them and try to teach them everything throughout the span of the day to know that they will go home to an environment that is not suitable. It takes a special person. That's why I'm in this line of work. But to close out this presentation, I want to point out the significance of having a stakeholder on the task force who is a responsible presence in the work community. Often in this day and age, we find ourselves expecting students to go to college immediately after high school, with little thought of a life of learning a trade or attending a shorter schooling time frame and being able to learn in more hands-on ways in the workforce throughout the rest of their lives. While education is important, let's be real. You're only in school for 13 years when you finish high school. We're members of a working society for 25 plus years, no matter what profession you choose. It's significant to prepare students for a life outside of academia if a region wants there to be a positive change that lasts for a lifetime. There are many stakeholders in the home life of a student, so preparing them to be a productive member of society by being in conversation and building a relationship with local community business owners helps the economy and the product value for the plant here in Grand City. This will build a lasting pride for our community and stronger ties between education and business / the workforce that will benefit from the students. It can also benefit their parents who may either be working or looking for a job, and it can benefit the students as a whole. Thank you. I appreciate you taking the time to listen to me. I look forward to gaining insight, information, and feedback throughout this last quarter before continually embarking on changing the lives of students. Thank you.